In a bustling downtown core, Torontonians are doing their best to keep warm, bundling up with hot coffees in hand. But for some, it's a silent battle, often unnoticed by passers-by. Those people are the city's homeless.
Even though we're at full capacity all the time at 91 beds, we do have a few beds that we can open up.
The Good Shepherd Centre had about 7,000 volunteers this past year who drove the effort to help Toronto's needy, but you don't need to be here to make a difference. The centre is accepting food and financial donations. Call 416-869-3619 to donate. This is Ike Rai reporting for Eye on Sheridan.
It's part of a string of sexual assaults that have plagued the college's Trafalgar campus since fall of 2013. The woods in question lie between the college's property and these apartment buildings.
We're advised that there were 4 witnesses that chased the suspect away. The police are investigating right now.
Police are asking for help in this investigation. Anyone with information is being urged to call the Halton Regional Police Child Abuse and Sex Assault Unit at 905-825-4747, extension 8970. I'm Ike Rai, reporting for Eye on Sheridan News. In the worst violence that Ukraine has seen over the last 3 months, clashes between protesters and police in Kiev have left 25 dead and hundreds injured. The bitter fighting continues today, forcing the Canadian government to close our embassy out of concern for safety.
President should resign because 90% of the people are unhappy.
As these violent clashes extend into yet another day, the people of Ukraine are waiting to see if President Yanukovych will bow to EU sanctions as well as public pressure. Reporting for Eye on Sheridan News, I'm Ike Rai. A day after Pearson International Airport issued a ground stop for flights leaving and arriving in Toronto, the backlog continues to affect travelers. What would normally be a busy arrivals area is now virtually abandoned, and of about 1,500 flights scheduled for today, more than 400 flights have been cancelled.
There was equipment freezing, so there were concerns for some of our employees. As well, we wanted to make sure that we didn't receive a backlog of flights coming in.
Passengers arriving at the airport expecting to fly out, only to find out that their flight has been delayed or cancelled, are doing their best to cope.
Our flight was to leave at 10:20 and it was delayed. They told us right away that it was delayed until 3:30 this afternoon.
It's about another, is that about 8 hours or something that I sat around?
Ian Miller took to the field. Miller was on his way to a flawless win over Candel until the final obstacle where he faulted. His only hope was that Candel would also fault, leading them to another round. It was tense as Candel and his mount navigated the obstacles, the crowd on the edges of their seats. But in the end, he and his new horse pulled off a flawless run, taking the cup for a 4th consecutive year and sending Miller home once more without a win.
I'm very pleased. I mean, every year actually it gets harder because the only way it can go is disappointment because it's the 4th year I won it now. Next year is going to get even harder, but very thrilled to be able to succeed. I believe the Canadian Championship is a great title and the Royal Winter Fair is such a great event. So we're always pleased to be here and hope to come back again next year.
This is Ike Rai reporting for Eye on Sheridan.
You don't have to chase the money. The money's there for you. All you have to do is abide by the rules. I think everybody has that in their work. They're wondering, is this really what I want to do? And then you have to say, well, if you don't do this, what am I going to do? Try to focus on the positive. I didn't know what to expect. I've been in it 28 and a half years now.
Now, your work in the field of self-development is quite extensive. You're published, you have nearly 140,000 followers on Twitter. What are the best steps to take for somebody wanting to develop a healthier self-relationship?
I think it's really critical for them to do a lot of self-reflection analysis. I think that's doing a deep dive into their personal brand, which includes their values, interests, skills, personality traits. I think they should get feedback from people that they love, from their support network, people that they care about, whether it's their family or friends. Yeah. And then there's also a lot of online tools you can use to help you assess.
Okay. Ontario is gearing up to raise the minimum wage. Our reporter Evan Morrison has the story about how this new legislation will affect both employees and businesses.
Ontario's minimum wage is set to increase June 1st from $10.25 to $11 an hour.
Further investigation is needed in order to determine if it was a suicide. Ontario's Special Investigations Unit has been called in after a man was struck by an unmarked police van in Toronto. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. One person was arrested, but it isn't clear how that's connected to the incident. Toronto police are also investigating.